Well, good morning, everyone, and the celebrations continue now, and we're still into episode 50, and this afternoon we go on with episode 51. Now, normally we would plan what to do, but today we're going to be here in the studio doing some fantastic stuff. Here's Mark. Good morning to you. Welcome to the continuation of the celebration.
Thanks, Barry. It's good to be here again, and welcome to everyone that's tuned in. So, yes, the continuation of the celebration. I think it's going to continue now until you leave. So, I'm looking forward to this. Don't mind the celebration. And today you've picked a bit of an Australiana theme for us to do a bit of cooking for lunch.
And that's what we're doing today. So, before we get on to the cooking stage of the Australiana theme, which is what we discussed in the taxi yesterday, how Out and About originated. Well, for those of you that haven't watched the show yet, well, now is the time for you to tune in. Well, Out and About, well, for Mark and myself, we select places that we would bring the show to, like do the show from, I should say. Sorry about that. And we discuss the various topics on the show, such as checking the weather forecast, working out whether the place is wheelchair accessible, that sort of thing, and how much it's going to cost. Here's Mark now to open the continuation of episode 50 with that.
Thanks, Barry. Yes, we have routinely gone to destinations and done some videoing from the destination, and we usually do an intro from the studio and then head out and do some recording while we're out and about, obviously, and then get back and do a close. So the out and about bit, which is when we're at the venue and using the laptop to record updates, is an integral part of the show. And so we do tend to find that we stop to make the video somewhere along the way, and it's worked out extremely well so far.
So, you may recall on episode 21, production had to be halted because both Mark and myself, we caught the COVID. Now, on episode 21, which was on June 14th of this year, you can view that video. I was coughing, spluttering, sniffling, and generally flagging badly. And by the end of that day, I had the COVID test, and the 2 lines popped up immediately. Here is Mark.
Yes, it was a long day for you, Barry, because whilst you said we both tested positive, I tested positive 2 weeks later. So slightly different time frame, but you're right, on that day you were going downhill fast, and by the end of it, it kind of looked like you were asleep in the chair.
And it was a long and frustrating wait for the cab as well. So
Yes, it was.
2 weeks of cancelled shows, and then on the 11th of July, tragedy hit the studio. The show went on. Here's Mark.
Yes, you've had a few setbacks along the way with different things that have happened, and it has impacted both your living arrangements and doing the show, and it's been quite a stressful time. So not surprising that a lot of these issues culminated in your determined decision to return to Sydney.
Well, my frustration started on May 20th when I got the phone call to say that I wasn't improved, and that's when it all started. And I had a big meltdown, and I did a meltdown video as of that night. I said some things that I shouldn't have said, and I regret that. And we all say things that we regret in our lives, such as saying, I'm done, I've had it with this, I don't want to know about it. Here's Mark.
Yes, well, your feelings were justified or understandable, and you were just reacting to your circumstances at the time. I suppose the biggest mistake you made was making a show, and obviously then saying things that you regret, and obviously once you've made it, you can't take them back. So that spur of the moment decision to voice your displeasure left you quite regretful. And I think it plays to your theme of take a chill pill, do whatever it is that you have to do to calm down, and think about your circumstances again, and then try and think about how to go about dealing with it constructively rather than destructively by reacting badly to it.
And blaming other people for it, because it was not the way I acted. I kept apologizing and then having the same thing over and over again. Here's Mark.
I'm not sure what you meant by that, Barry, that you kept apologising but it kept happening. What do you mean?
I kept having the outburst.
Oh, because you were still frustrated.
Yes, that.
Yes, well, I suppose in many respects I realised that in some subconscious way you were talking to yourself when you started talking about the need to remain controlled and civil and constructive to achieve outcomes, because, as you well know, losing your cruet in a meeting or in general and then passing that along to the people that you've got to deal with, it doesn't stand you in good stead.
It doesn't. It didn't. And then June ended, and I slowly came out of ISO. And then July happened, and then the tragedy struck, which I don't want to talk about. So I'll move on from that. And August came along, and then Mark went on his holidays to Darwin, and it was a beautiful time, so I believe.
Absolutely gorgeous time. It was a shame that you weren't there. I think you would have loved it. It was an adventure from start to end with, you know, flights over Kakadu and river cruises in Kakadu and just driving around in general there. And yeah, it was a fantastic experience.
So we're going to take a break and get started on our cooking, and we will continue this very shortly. So stay with us.
See you soon.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bray Park Studios in the kitchen. Today we are making the Aussie classic sausage rolls, and we promise that we will bring an Australian thing to you, so here it is. Here is Mark now to tell you about it.
Well, I'm cheating because I bought sausages and I'm just squeezing the meat out of the skins and then putting a bit of extra spice in them. So rather than just get sausage mince and start from scratch, I find the sausages have got a little bit more fat in them, makes them tastier.
Yeah, so if I can get turn it around. Okay, so here is what we're using here, okay? And what you do, guys, you simply cut open the sausages and squeeze out all the shell and the stuffing from the sausage. Now, rather than getting sausage meat from the butchers and then starting from scratch, you know, it's a waste of money, so why don't you just use sausages? Here is Mark now to tell you about this.
Well, it's the cheats way of doing it, but I find that the sausage mix in these is the right consistency for sausage rolls, and whereas I find the pork mince a little bit dry. So this just has a bit more fat in it.
Yeah, and also today we'll be making a cake to celebrate our 50th show, which continues this morning, and then on to episode 51 this afternoon. So here is what you need, guys. Some pastry which you got there. Okay.
Just storing.
Just storing there. Okay. And as always, there are some other ingredients there. Okay, so we've got some salt and some pepper there.
Some mixed herbs.
And some mixed herbs.
And a little bit of fennel.
And a little bit of fennel to spice them up a bit.
So you jiggy with all of those?
Yep, so add some salt in there like that. Okay. Good pinch of salt, okay. And some pepper, grind it in. There we go.
And make sure I've got the right one. Mixed herbs.
Mixed herbs in there like that. Alrighty, so.
And now
some fennel.
Not too much because it's very strong. strong flavour. And then the fun part, get in there and squish it around a bit. This is the job for the kids.
And the fun part, ladies and gentlemen, is getting in there and squishing it around a bit. Alright, so make sure your hands are clean when you are doing this. But in Mark's case, he's wearing some gloves because without gloves, guys, boy, the hands would stink.
Well, I have to admit, I'm only using gloves because I'm in a recognised facility where the expectation of food hygiene is commercial rather than domestic. And if I was at home, I would have my grubby little hands all through this without gloves, because you can just give them a wash and you're good to go. So,
And that is all.
the meat preparation's done.
The meat preparation is done, guys. Now, all you've got to do is put the mixture into the pastry. So, while we're doing that, let's preheat the oven.
Let's do that. All right. That falls
So it is fun to cook. Okay. So we might have to pause that for a moment. We are back. Right now we are putting the mince into the sausages into the pastry. So I'll just get a shot of that again. I'll just get a shot of that again. So here we are. Mark is back now as well.
So, just making the little sausage roll bit to go in the middle and line it up on my split pastry. Give it a little bit of room to expand lengthways. And then it's just a matter of rolling it up.
Hang on, is there room for a couple more?
Yep. But so that I know where I'm rolling to.
So very important to roll the pastry to the length that you want it, guys.
Quite right. And I have got a little bit of glaze to put on the pastry to make them stick.
So why waste money, guys, buying a greasy sausage roll when you can easily make it at home? Here's Mark.
Well, if you're at home, yeah, very easy. If you're out and about and you know the bakery does good sausage rolls, indulge.
But only in moderation, guys.
Yes, this is not health food, and you do need to bear in mind that it isn't necessarily good for you, Only good for your soul.
Only good for your soul, guys.
Okay, I'm going to do a little pad here on the side if I can. That should help me get you on that.
Now that we've got a bit of peace and quiet, so this is what we're doing here, guys. You can see Mark doing this. Alright. He's just rolling the pastry there like that.
And obviously with the pastry, I cheat as well. So bought pastry and I don't have a pastry brush.
And we should get one when we're out and about next.
Give it a little brush where you get enjoyed it.
So what you do, guys, is you pinch the edges together like that, and then cut the pastry this side again. Alrighty, this is what you are left with. Roll the pastry up like that. And then
We've got a couple of bits of pastry left over.
so
And what I do at home with bits of pastry like this is, because it's puff pastry, I just put some fruit and or sometimes just jam, roll the edges in, and it goes in the oven as well, and your little scrappy leftovers end up making you a little tasty pastry dessert.
yeah, so let's put some fruit or jam in the middle.
Alright.
So why waste pastry, guys? So if you've got the leftover pastry, put something in it.
Now, have you got jam hiding somewhere? I know you will have, Barry.
In the fridge, I think.
In the fridge. Where else would I be looking?
So we can hope
Oh, one of my favourites, apricot.
that, we can, and get a waypoint.
So, we're going to do one apricot and one strawberry.
Yep, so this is how we do it. Bugger the fly. Well, that's what happens when summer comes on, guys.
Yes.
So one strawberry and one jam and one apricot, guys. So we roll the pastry up, and you've got yourself a tasty little morsel.
Tasty little jam tart.
Tasty little jam tart, so sweet and savoury, guys. So we promised you some Australiana, and you've got it now. and we're going to take a break. And if Mark can get the,
Mark's going to deglove.
if Mark can get the,
No, he can't.
so this is in celebration of our 50th show, guys, which is continuing today, of course. It's good to jam in like that. Okay. And look at that. Burning the jam in like that. It does.
It's good for you too.
And good for you.
No, that last bit was officially a lie. They're just good for your soul.
Okay, so once again, put the lid back on the jam, and then the secret to cooking, guys, if you make a mess, we clean it up.
It all sounds very domestic when you have to clean up your own mess. Much better if you've got a professional kitchen, you can make a mess and just leave it to the dish pig. So, you know, much better to have someone else cleaning up after you.
But so now the jams are going back into the fridge.
Well, momentarily they will be.
Momentarily they will be, yes.
I'm just going to finish off the glove work.
Finish off the glove work.
Bring my car into the garage and I'm going to connect the camera into the vehicle so that I can see
And I do tend to leave the pastry on its sheet because as it warms up, it gets a little bit harder to handle, and as a consequence, it's easier to pick up the sheet. As you can see, there are no niceties.
We've got people coming through. We've got people coming through.
So we're gonna,
Little glaze on the
take
edges.
we're gonna put a little bit of glaze on the edges now. Just like that.
Due to our lack of pastry brush.
So
Did you see the lion escape from the show?
and we will take a break after we put those into the oven.
It doesn't sound like they got all that far, okay? It was outside the
Yes.
So a nice little cooking session today with Barry and Mark, like we had promised.
And I was actually very excited when Barry suggested sausage rolls because I've always been a sausage roll man as opposed to a pie man myself. So Mostly because I've never been able to eat a pie without making a mess.
And
And I love sausage rolls.
the golden rule is put the gloves into the bin. Now,
Jam back in the fridge.
jam back in the fridge, guys. Okay, so
Alright, so I think right now, because
right now,
I would normally at this point get out the baking paper and put it on the tray, get them ready to go in the oven.
yeah,
The oven's been preheating to 200 fan force,
yeah.
and essentially we're ready to go.
So we're going to take a break now.
So before I get my hands grubby again, I will pause us.
Now what?
So we're back and
We're back.
ready to put our sausage rolls and our little tarts onto
Our oven tray.
exactly.
So well,
It's actually a small oven tray, so might not actually fit.
but we do have so normally guys we would be out and about, but today we're in the studio instead.
Yes, I reckon I can make this fit. Or maybe not.
And when putting things into the oven, guys, make sure you keep an eye on them so that they do not burn.
Correct. Now the puff pastry does expand a fair bit, so
Okay, so
we expect a little bit of bumping in here a little bit later on.
okay, so now
It's oven time.
it's oven time. So we will bring you back when they are all done. And in it goes.
Timer. Where are we? Clock. I am an absolute chocker for not taking notice of where I put things in to cook or keeping track of how long they've been there. So what I do now is set the timer on my phone because it's the only way I can keep track of time. So now we're just playing a waiting game.
So 15 minutes, guys, and they should be ready. So
15 minutes to get the pastry the right colour, and then if you need to cook the inside of whatever's in there for longer, so it's a 200 fan force, so we'll do that for 15 minutes. It should go quite a nice brown, golden brown, and then you turn it down so that it doesn't keep colouring the pastry, and it cooks whatever you've got in the middle properly.
and like always, like I said, put your, whatever it is into the bin. So now it's
It's
time
an easy clean-up.
an easy clean up, guys.
A little bit of washing up to do.
And a little bit of washing up to do, but the fun is not over yet because
The fun hasn't even started.
the fun hasn't even started.
It starts when we break out the tomato sauce and get stuck in.
It starts when we break out the tomato.
You're a tomato sauce man?
I am. So
Traditional.
yeah, and now it's time to tell you what we've done so far. Well, we've got some sausage rolls in the oven there, and coming up
Little jam tarts just to
And-
use up the leftover pastry.
and look at that. And
And apparently, I haven't run this past Barry yet, but I thought I might channel some famous chefs, seeing as how I've got the camera on me and I'm cooking. And Gordon Ramsay comes to mind, but you know, I don't want to frighten Barry with a bit of expletive yelling, so maybe I'll channel someone quieter.
yeah, so here we are, guys. The sausage rolls are in the oven.
Now it's the waiting game.
Now I'll take you over to the oven.
It's actually at the right height for you. Whoa, it's just in frame.
So here we are now, going to the oven. So we'll show you there.
And you can see the pastry starting to puff already, which is always a good sign. So I'm excited about that.
So it's always a good sign, guys, when the pastry rises.
Yep, looking good.
Looking very good indeed.
Well, as it's now just a matter of marking time, I'm going to put them on pause until we're ready to do something else with them.
And I'm gonna charge the battery as well. So we'll take a break and come back.
See you soon. Sorry, see you soon.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 50 continued. Whilst our sausage rolls are cooking and the tarts, let's go back over what we've discussed so far. So far on Out and About, we've covered many topics on when to call 000 and when not to call 000. Joining me in the studio now, once again, it's a very good morning to Mark English.
Good morning, Barry and viewers. Welcome back.
Yep, well, we are proud to announce that I will be moving back to Sydney very shortly, within a number of months. And yesterday I had a very interesting meeting. Here's Mark to open the second part of our show with that.
Yes, so your meeting, which was to discuss the planning phase of getting you moved, which is the positive, getting things done part of the process, and quite a few good actions came out of the meeting, and they need to get some information back about costings, etc. And hopefully all of that will be in by the end of this week, early next week, and they'll be able to look at, first of all, how much it might cost, and second of all, who is going to be looking after the logistics of actually shifting you from here to Sydney.
So whilst I have enjoyed my time in Bray Park, okay, well, I've had a few hurdles along the way, but hey, beep happens, here's Mark.
Yes, it does. And you've adopted the right attitude, which is, yes, it happens, and all you can do is move on. So there's no point in sticking around and getting bogged down in all that beep. So better to move forward and trying to progress your way out of it.
Because what's the point of bogging yourself down, guys, and then thinking this is not going to happen, because it is a negative attitude to have. Here's Mark.
Very negative attitude. It is not. It's not good for yourself. Get down in that bog and stay there, because for your peace of mind, mental health, etc., you need things to progress. And as it's for you, the person with the most invested interest in whatever's going on should be you, and that means you need to stay engaged, keep listening, and keep asking questions, keep talking civilly, so that people can understand exactly what you need and want and organise that for you.
Like we said on the phone manners, which was on episode 41 and 2, last month,
I'm going to go and check on the food.
and we'll just take a break. Welcome back, everyone, to the closure of episode 50 and the continuation. Well, we're about to conclude episode 50 and go straight into episode 51. Before we conclude episode 50, we'd like to say thank you for tuning in to the 50 episodes so far. Here's Mark now. Hello again.
Hello again, Barry, and hello, viewers. Welcome back. And I'd like to reiterate Barry's thanks for tuning in to the 50 episodes, and keep watching, keep enjoying. Feel free to give us feedback.
And the good news continues, guys. We will talk about that on episode 51, which is coming up this afternoon. And my word, my patience did pay off, and I was pleased very pleased indeed when I brought last Monday's episode to you. Here's Mark now.
Yes, once you had that meeting, which took it past confirmation that your move had been approved, into the actual planning phase for the move. So lots of discussion around how, when, how much, etc. So lots of action items came out of the meeting for people to follow up on, particularly with getting quotes, etc., as I've said, and looking at the finances. So just got to wait until all those quotes are in, and then Barry will have a much better idea of cost and timing.
And the move will not be stopped. It is going ahead. Here's Mark.
Yeah, well, it's been confirmed to be going ahead and the planning started. So unless you change your mind, it's not going to stop.
I'm not going to change my mind because everything's getting organised now. And I must tell you that I have had a wonderful time here in Bray Park bringing the show to you. And I thank you for being there along the way. Here's Mark.
Yeah, it's been a journey for you, Barry, a journey of ups and downs, that's for sure.
Like we,
Yes, a roller coaster, literally.
like a plane being worn out, like woo.
Yes. So, this positive news, not only does it buoy your mood, but, it changes your whole outlook on everything that you're doing. So instead of viewing it with the world with frustration and impatience
And anger.
then you just shift into a completely different mindset where you know things are working towards the result that you want, and all you have to do is sit back and wait for things to happen. Admittedly, time, when you've been waiting for things to happen, you want them to happen straight away. But you know what the system's like, Barry, and you've been dealing with it for a long time, and you know everything takes a long time.
So like the Carpenter song, guys, it's going to take some time this time. If you've ever heard it, here's Mark.
Yeah, so, but the advantage is that because you now view everything in a positive light, the frustration and anger isn't there. So you can get on with your life and enjoy it. And the same time frame might pass you by, but much better to be in a good mood and have time passing than be in a bad mood, because for some reason it always moves very slowly when you're in a bad mood.
And like we've said before, if you keep hassling people on the phone or emailing people asking when is this gonna happen, they might not approve it. Here's Mark.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't not approve things out of spite because you've been hassling them, but certainly it creates barriers to achieving the outcome when your interactions are combative rather than working together to achieve what you want to achieve. And certainly people don't respond well to abuse or pressure or particularly negative feedback when their hands are a little bit tied by the constraints of bureaucracy.
And like some months back, the NDIS complained because I was ringing them so many times. But now I don't have to ring them back anymore, because I've got the answer that I need, and I'm satisfied now. Well, that brings to an end episode 50, the celebration. We hope that you've enjoyed it. Here's Mark.
Well, all that's left to be done for episode 50 is go and eat some sausage roll.
Go and eat some sausage roll, and then we will be back with you for episode 51 of this is episode 50 and then 51 coming up, and it's about the history of Bray Park. So that's coming up today also on the show, and we've given you a bit of an insight of out and about as well. So we hope that you enjoy that. And the number we're going to close episode 50 with, and we don't need to remind you, it is 000. Please do not call 000 unless you have an emergency. Here is Mark to close episode 50 and our celebration with that.
Yes, please don't use 000. It's an emergency number, and clearly that is the giveaway that it should be an emergency that requires you to call it. So if it's a minor thing, find another way, but if you do have an emergency, absolutely call 000 and try and stay calm and have information that you think they're going to want, simple stuff like the address, and then they will ask you a series of questions about either yourself or whoever it is that you're ringing on behalf of, and you need to clear your mind, listen carefully to the question that's been asked, and answer it as quickly and succinctly as you can.
And the operator will confirm with you the address of where you are. Say if Mark was calling an ambulance for me, what would he tell them? Well, he would tell them that I am a disabled person in a wheelchair. The operator will ask the person's age, like mine. So ask Mark what the problem is, etc. Here's Mark.
Yes, so they're the little things that you need to think of is if you don't know, you don't know. But, think about it. If you do know, they are going to ask you the person's age. Would they have any relevant medical history that applies to what it is that you're ringing about today? In other words, do they have a heart condition? Or, are they on dialysis, or they're diabetic? It mightn't seem that it's relevant to what's going on, but it potentially is. And the more information they have, the easier they find the task of both deciding how urgent the issue is and preparing the paramedics for their arrival at the destination, so that they're not coming in completely blind to what's going on. They've got a relatively good idea of what they're going to have to do when they get there.
And do stay around, because episode 51 is coming up today, and we've got more cooking to do. So we hope that you enjoy episode 50, which is uploading now. And this is the conclusion of episode 50. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you for episode 51 coming up shortly. Here's Mark to tell you about it.
Thanks for tuning in and watching episode 50. And as Barry said, episode 51 obviously coming up next. So stay tuned, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And bye for now.
And not bye for now. See you soon.